Hello, welcome to Black Men Speak. I'm your host, J.R. Stewart. Today we're going to discuss the role and responsibility that the black man has played in the demise of the black community. And for those of you who are guests, please subscribe to my channel. It will definitely help. And if you have comments, please leave your comments, and I promise, I will answer each and every comment that's posted, either publicly or privately, your choice. So let's just jump in and let's get started. So the black man and the black community. Now there are some who may say, who share my opinion, that the current condition of the black community is something that the black man allowed to happen. That should have never happened. That we should have been stronger and bolder to make sure that it did not happen. I agree that well-intentioned programs, well-intentioned people, who thought they were doing the right thing, who were trying to help solve a problem, which was, what do you do about poor people who are struggling? What do you do to help the poor get back on their feet and become mainstream? And our government went on, had an effort, we call it the War on Poverty, mainly driven by Lyndon Baines Johnson. And there are some who claim that the effort was not so much good-heartedness as it was to try to make sure that they could enslave a voting bloc. But we'll discuss that some other time. So the War on Poverty, well-intentioned program designed to help poor people get on their feet, become mainstream. And there are those who argue that it has been disastrous for the black community, that many of our problems, that the government has sort of bred generational dependency on these programs, because there are many families who may not be able to survive today without them. With these programs, many of us have learned how to work the programs. Rather than learning how to get up, go to work, how to keep a job, how to maintain and balance a checkbook, how to pay bills on time, how to maintain credit, things that you're going to need, skills that you're going to need in life. Many of our folks are learning how to work the system, how to get 4 and 5 Obama cell phones, for instance, how to work the Lifeline programs. And I'm not sure if we look at the overall result that we actually help. I mean, we have helped people, don't get me wrong. We spent trillions of dollars in the war on poverty. There have been a lot of people who have been helped, but the long term, is it really helping people with their long-term goals? And being dependent on government should not be the long-term goals. Now you may ask yourself, okay, well, JR, where are you going with all of this? Where is all this leading to? Well, where I'm going with this is that the black man had a chance, an obligation, and a responsibility during the 60s to make sure that his family, his children, did not end up on these government programs. That when the government stepped in to assume your responsibility to take your place, to move you out of the household, move you out of the home, and the government became, Uncle Sam became the husband, became the father, became in charge. When that happened, there are many that may have thought, oh, this is great. I don't have to be responsible for a wife. I don't have to be responsible for kids. I don't have to carry the load anymore. For those that thought that was great, the end result now is that when you look at the abandonment that happened, the walking away from the family that happened, it has not worked out very well for us. It has not. We have the highest unemployment rate of all the groups in America. That's not a good thing. We have the highest dropout rate of any group in America. Over half our young men barely graduate high school. Blacks who do graduate high school, male and female, generally graduate 3 grade levels behind their white counterparts. And when you look at crime statistics, we are the leaders in far too many crime categories. We're number 1 in murders and assault, daily assaults, and manslaughter. I think we're probably number 1 in most burglaries also. And some of the Hispanic groups are not that far behind us, but we're 12–13% of the population. We should not be responsible for over half the murders in America. That is an amazing statistic that I wish we could find a way to reverse that or turn that around to make it a little more proportional to where we are. If we can somehow get our participation in murders and daily crimes and violent crimes down to 12 or 13%, I think that would be a huge victory. But anyway, before I digress, once again, we're talking about the role and the responsibility of the black male and how that has affected the demise of the black community. Well, the black male is not there. The black man is not there in the family. So women are forced to raise children by themselves, to be husband and father. And there are many complaints against the black woman and how she raised black children, especially when it comes to black boys and raising them into black men. We're not going to discuss that on this episode. We will get to it, I think, on episode 3 or episode 4. So stay tuned. But I don't see where, when I look out on Facebook, I look out on social media, when I attend discussion groups, I hear all these black men complaining about the black woman. But you know what? Here's my point. Since you were not there to help raise your children, you have no say at this point. You have no complaint when you've been absent. Don't tell me how bad the black woman is when you turned your back on the black woman, left her to fend for herself for the most part, and raised these children by herself. The educational system is another area. Lack of a positive male role model, an enforcer to encourage kids and motivate them, sometimes even with a little physical discipline, to get your homework, to study hard, to make something of yourself. There's no male voice in the household, in many of these households, to do that. And I know there are some of you who are going to say, oh, JR, you can't say stuff like that. You're just knocking the black community. We need to be uplifted, not knocked down. I'm sorry. When 73%, I believe, of our babies, black children, are born to unwed teenage mothers, and this is up in the last decade, this is something that needs to reverse. And I can say that there have been too many children who are raised without dual parents in the household. There are too many children being raised by children who are trying to get on with, trying to make a life for themselves, and all of a sudden now they have children that they have to be responsible for, and no one has really taught them life skills on how to be responsible, how to raise children, how to manage a household, so the destruction and the demise of the black community continues to feed on itself. This is something that has to stop. Only way it's going to stop, black men, listen to me. Listen to what I'm saying. The only way the black community is going to be saved is the black man has to step up, be responsible, be a leader in his household, is where it starts, but also be a leader in the community and get involved. Set the example. Encourage your children to be better than you. Encourage your children to go out and get a good education, to get the skills and the things you're going to need to be successful in life. Don't necessarily assume that these things are going to take care of themselves. And don't necessarily assume that the black woman can handle all of this by herself. I know there are many black women who tote the party line of, I'm a strong black woman. I don't need a man. We will talk about that in our relationship series, which is series number 2. This is the most asinine thing I've ever heard in my life, when a woman says, I don't need a man. Of course you need a man. Men need women, women need men. That's just the way we were made, that's the way God designed us, most of us. There are a few who are more into the same-sex variety, but that's more of a deviation and not the norm. The norm is that men are attracted to women. Women are supposed to be attracted to men. So we both need each other. So when you say, I don't need a man, you're really going against natural law. You're going against what God intended for you. You're not intended to go through life by yourself. If you were, you wouldn't need a uterus, you wouldn't need reproductive organs, you wouldn't need a fallopian tube, you wouldn't need any of these. You wouldn't have to lay the eggs every month, you wouldn't have a period or a cycle to restart the whole process. You wouldn't need any of this if you were meant to go through life by yourself. So you need a man, men need women. Once again, this series is about the black man himself. So I'm going to encourage, this is my message to black men, step your game up. Step up to the plate, become responsible. Stop complaining, stop having children that you can't afford, stop committing crimes. Let's do things the right way. Let's show that we can become masters not only on the football field or the basketball court, but also in the classroom. Let's show that we can get a good education and we can disrupt the grading curve. Rather than have the Asian kids come into a school system and all of a sudden the teacher can't give a grade on a curve anymore because they're making A's and everyone else is making C's and B's. Let's show that we can be the ones who can disrupt the grading curve for the Asian kids. Let's also demonstrate that not only can we graduate high school, we can graduate high school on the right level, 12th grade level, and that we're going to go to college and kick ass. That we're going to become the new rulers of education and knowledge. That not only can we be badasses on the streets, but I want you to be a thug for education. I want you to be a badass in the classroom. I want you to be a badass in college when you walk out with honors with your degree. I want you to be a badass in the marketplace, in the business world, when you go there and take over and kick ass. Let corporate America know that you are a force to be reckoned with. That you are not some low-life sleazeball to be feared, because you're physically violent and you're a hothead. No, you're going to Wall Street, you're going to Main Street, you're going to corporate America to be feared because you are something to be reckoned with. You're kicking ass and you're taking names and you're moving up the corporate ladder. We're going to show America what the black man, the true nature of the black man is about. Unfortunately, much of your power is used in such a negative way. There's so much anger built up. You live in a world with plenty and many, and the greatest nation in the world, but many times you struggle trying to figure out where your place is in this world. I have a son. I have a son who's wasting his life away for the most part. I wish he wasn't, but he's trying. At least he's trying now. He wants to become a financial advisor. He's going to class to get his financial license. So I applaud him. I hope he sticks with it. I hope he sticks with it. I hope he learns everything that he needs to learn. I hope he masters his craft, his skill. And I hope he comes out into the world a better man. I hope he comes out into the world kicking ass and taking names, showing that he can be one of the best financial advisors and sellers of financial instruments that the world has ever seen. That is my hope. That is my goal. Whether that goal and that dream and hope materializes, it's all up to him. It really is. And so I'm going to wish him luck. I'm going to sit back, and I will advise you and give you updates from time to time. He just started. I believe Monday is when he starts his training. So in future videos, we will be talking about where he is, and I'm going to use this as sort of my example. And so I hope that he represents the black community well, that he represents young black men well, and do what he's supposed to do. But for the rest of the black men, do not turn your back on the black woman. Do not turn your back on your children. And I hear black men say, well, I take care of my kids. You know what? You don't get a parade from me. You don't get a pat on the back. You don't even get a word of encouragement from me because that's what you're supposed to do. Let's stop celebrating. Let's stop celebrating black men when they do what they're supposed to do. We're going to celebrate you when you do something extraordinary. When you do something above and beyond the norm. And you become above average in your accomplishments. Then we're going to pat you on the back. Then we're going to say, you've done a great job. That's when you get your parade. That's when you get your pat on the back. But getting a parade or a pat on the back for raising your children, for paying bills, or being responsible, I've never been in jail. Okay, you're not supposed to go to jail. Do you not know that? You don't get celebrated for not going to jail. Everyday people that are not going to jail, This is the norm. It's not normal to go to jail. That is not the norm. And maybe in some communities it is, but where I live and the people that I know and associate with, they're not trying to go to jail. And not going to jail is not something that we celebrate. That is just something that's expected. You're supposed to obey the law. You're supposed to not be in court, not be fingerprinted, not going off to county jail, city jail, state jail, or federal prison. That is not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stay out of jail. That is the norm. I'm going to wrap up this first show. Once again, I hope that you subscribe to my channel. I hope you come back. Please leave your comments. A lot of the content of the show is driven by the words and the questions that you may have, and I look forward to seeing you for the next episode. The next episode is going to deal with relationships, and we're going to get a little bit more into the dynamic of the black male-female relationship, some of the complaints on both sides that we're going to address, and I hope to see you then. Thank you so much. And before I close, I want to give a big thanks to Fitness 360 for allowing us to use their building to shoot the show in. I want to give thanks to 4 Studios, who's doing the editing of this show, to Carol Wilson, who's the owner of Lifestyle 360 and the Fitness 360. And their website is fitness360.com. Please go visit, patronize them if you can. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you so much. I'm your host, J.R. Stewart, and I'm out.